Shake Reviews, Willie Nod or Willie Shake, yeah!
Hello, Johnny here with Jim Bobby. Welcome to another thing of Nod or Shake Reviews. Nod if it's good, shake if it's not so good. Either way, you shake it out because you might find your new favorite movie. This is the last review of 2024, and it's Christmas, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, because we're not going to see you when the New Year comes over and all that. I might do a movie ranking depending on how I feel and all that good stuff. Alrighty, on to the review. Nosferatu.
I'm gonna give it a nod.
Okay, it sounds like we're kind of on the same page because it sounds like you're giving it a nod, but not the most confident nod. Would you say that's correct? So I felt like this was overall like the original, but they were just like, let's expand on it, which is fine because I actually felt one of the issues I had with the original one was I felt like Nosferatu came on a ship and then it was like everybody has the plague, where like this one I felt like it did better of a build up. Like it wasn't just like this immediate like everyone in the world is sick. Like I feel like they did a better job in making it more believable that a plague is happening, where the original one I just felt like it was like, what? Hold on, because
you can't really judge the original one based on that because there is missing footage.
Oh, well, all right. Yeah. There's a lot of great technical stuff happening, and there's a lot of great stuff in this happening. And I know, don't judge other stuff by its previous works, but like the original one is such a technical marvel, and it's like 100 years old. Yeah. And you're like, how do they do this? That like you can't help to be impressed by some of the stuff they're doing. None of the stuff in this impressed me. None of, like I never went like, whoa, how did that is such great. Like there are some great transitions. Like there's this one scene where they panned to a ceiling, but it was actually they were panning to a street, and I thought that was very well done. But there was nothing that was like, I am in awe of what I'm watching. And I think
as a matter of fact, I think you had the opposite. I think that's why it's not like a bona fide I love this film. I mean, I love the original for all of it. But yeah, you go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you.
So, Bill Skarsgård, the acting was very good by all parties involved. Lily Rose Depp was great. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Nicholas Hoult, everybody was good. Bill Skarsgård was definitely amazing. So they made somewhat of a big deal that they weren't going to reveal Count Orlok. They were like, we're not going to have him in the trailers. We're not going to have him in anything. He's not everything that he's in. He's very shadowed. You can't really see him. When he comes out, my genuine reaction was, oh.
I understand where he was going with it, but I was disappointed.
I liked his acting. Like I liked his.
The acting was great.
I liked his voice work, and I actually liked the cast. I liked everything up until you see his face.
Yeah, there's multiple reasons for that too.
It's like I just saw it, and like I was I was getting amped. I was like, here it comes, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's it. And I think honestly, it might sound silly. That might be like the really big thing that kind of took me out of it.
And like immediately upon seeing his face, my soul left my body.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I gotta stare at this for another 2 hours.
Oh, this is what they were holding back?
Yeah.
Not worth holding back.
I mean, listen, if you never saw the original, if you have no idea what the original Count Orlok looks like, you might not care, but it's just it's such an iconic look, still replicated to this day in other sources of movies.
Yep.
So
This
I don't think this I think they'll avoid to replicate.
Yep.
I don't know. I have a feeling by the time I'm going to get home, like, I don't know.
I hated this.
So
I just, in the time that you gave your little spiel, I now hate this film. It's a shake. Billy Skarsgård, really good work. He's like got so much range from Pennywise the Clown to this. It's like night and day. And there's no reference for the voice. There are remakes in the Count Orlok thing. So, like, you know, the story is Dracula. It's essentially Dracula, and when they made it into film, you know, I don't know why they decided to change the name. If it was something like...
It was a rights thing.
It was a rights thing?
Because there was a book at the time.
It's still a book.
Yeah, but it was...
Dracula is still
made.
a novel.
It was made.
Yeah, no, like, when the movie was made, it was still close, and it wasn't... Because now Dracula, I believe, is in public domain.
I believe now it is.
Yeah, so... It was not in public domain. Now, I don't know how they were able to literally steal every other aspect of the story, right down to how he gets to England, or to Germany, in Dracula, I think it is England. But, you know, it's beat for beat Dracula.
Yeah.
So, you know, knowing that, it's still, like, the original is so great. You're right. For the time that it came out, it did things that no other film of the before the talkies, like no other film even dared to do. And I think that's why it lasted the test of time, even after it lost footage and is damaged. And one of those things is the makeup of Count Orlok was so great. So great. So when you come to a movie and they hype up, they know what they got. They know how big of a deal this is for, like, vampire lore fanatics. That, like, you're going to see a new modern Count Orlok. What are you going to get? And then you get this half CGI, mustachioed, like, dude, I'm sorry.
I think it was the mustache.
It's the mustache.
Yeah,
I get what you were trying to do. You wanted to make it look like this guy could feasibly be human and, like, go about the streets of Germany and attack people.
Yeah.
I get it. Count Orlok in the original film looks like a freaking monster.
Yeah.
But that's the point. One of the greatest scenes in horror movie history is when Count Orlok first exits the shipwreck and he comes and he emerges, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah,
it's so haunting.
Yeah.
And even still to this day, the scenes where they do the shadow amongst the wall, that stuff still creeps me out. And this relied heavily, again, on jump scares. You're talking about a movie that didn't need a jump scare, that horrified people for its time. And still watching it today, I got why people were horrified by it. And now you pop a mustache on the dude and you give him a little couple of hairs on the back. And it's like, if it wasn't for Bill Skarsgård's acting, it would have been dumb.
Yeah.
Downright dumb. Like, picture like a vampire wanting to go out and get disguised so he doesn't get noticed, so and he buys a literal fake mustache. That's what it looked like. And then to come from a movie that was made, you know, 100 years ago, where it was all practical effect, to this that relied so heavily on CGI for no reason. I don't think it needed half of the CGI that it put in there.
I don't know. I didn't see the CGI. I mean, that's the other thing which is good had going for this is you don't really get to see him in full until later on. So even like but
it did rely. It relied heavily on CGI.
Oh, I didn't
it did 100%.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that there was the mustache was probably CGI'd in there. But like, and don't get me wrong, I am not one to knock CGI when it's done great and done purposefully. But like when you do it just because you have it at your disposal, I mean, practical effects isn't like that. You create something to get a task done rather than just, shoot for the freaking moon and throw everything in the sink in it, everything in the sink. It's just, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for something like this that should have been just like Bill Skarsgård did that thing with Pennywise and he blew me out of the water for the first one. You could have taken that and done it with this and it still would have been just as impactful. And again, this movie has great things about it. One thing I will say about the Orlok effect, his silhouette was just as good in this as it is in the original. When he is in the castle scenes, when you first don't even know what he looks like,
yeah,
it's different but it's great. It is great. And that's what I'll say about that shit.
Alrighty, thanks for cringing. We'll be back next week. I don't know what the movie is. Next week, next year.
Some of the acting too was a little weird.
Some of it was a little over
Willem
the top.
Dafoe was a little over the top.
Yeah, it felt like a stage play a little bit.
Yeah, it did. It did. Stage play, 100%.
I don't know if that was maybe his intention, but we gotta go. Alrighty, thanks for cringing. Bye bye.
Please for cringing.